Welcome to our Modern Latin American History class. My name is Brandon Morgan, and I am the instructor for our course. In this video, I just want to give you a tour of the course, just to make sure you understand how I've set things up, how I've organized it, and how to navigate the class. Before we do that, though, I did want to just really emphasize that if you ever have questions about, well, specifically about the digital platforms that we'll be using, Twitter, TikTok, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm always happy to help with that, and I recognize that many of us don't have experience with those things. One of the things that I hope we're doing in our class, because it's online, because we're leveraging digital tools, is thinking critically about our digital presence and learning some new things about how to navigate life online. I think the COVID-19 situation, for all the negative that it has brought, and I know that there are many of us in this class who would not be taking an online class if things were different, if circumstances weren't what they are. But because of all of that, I'm hoping that we'll get some new skills that will help us to better navigate the digital world and to think critically about who we are in that space, in the space of the internet, and how we present ourselves there. So that's just something else that we're doing, one of the other reasons to use digital tools. But again, I know that this is a learning process, and I know that many of us will need help. So please let me know whenever that's the case. I have placed video tutorials in the reading tweets section over here in the course content portion of our course, as well as the timeline section on how to use Twitter and how to use TikTok. So please do take advantage of those resources, and let me know if you have questions about those. If the tutorials don't make things clear, I'm happy to help, and I'm ready to help us all get on board with what we're doing. Additionally, I'm ready to help and discuss things relative to the study of history. So if you just want to talk more about certain historical events or patterns, let me know via email, text message, whatever it might be, and we'll have time to talk about those things as well. All right, so this is what our course looks like. This should be familiar. This is the course landing page. It says welcome on the menu. Here's a link to our course hashtag on Twitter so that you can easily jump over there and find that. Please do check announcements regularly. I like to use that to send out information to the whole class. And this is a way of keeping tabs on your grades. I want to just mention that as long as you understand the course syllabus and you keep track of where we're at with the learning modules, you will always know exactly what's coming due, what you need to be doing to complete the coursework for our class. I really do try to make things transparent and not hide anything. So those are the two main ways of understanding how the course is set up and what you need to be doing. The Start Here section is important. You've obviously found that if you're watching this video, but please do, let me click on this, please do click into the Start Here module as well. The Start Here module contains a lot of reference information. The syllabus is there. Obviously, it's also in the syllabus section. But it has other reference information about how to get started with Blackboard, help for Blackboard if you're having technical difficulties, CNM's academic honesty, or academic integrity, I should say, policies. There's also the Distance Learning Jumpstart course embedded within the Start Here module. So that's something that's self-paced that you can do on your own if you need a little help getting familiar with CNM Learn or Blackboard. So I recommend all of those things. Look through all of that, see what is helpful there, or just kind of file away the knowledge that, okay, there's information about that and Start Here so that you can come back to it later if you need it. The syllabus tab, contains the syllabus, but also it has information on the journal entries. As so often happens, I'm realizing I didn't update the course schedule yet, so I will do that after I make this video. What you will see here is the current course schedule that is also contained in the syllabus, but is here so that you can access it more quickly if you would need to. In the instructor information tab, there's my contact information. I'll click on it, as well as information about the late policy. I'll scroll down. There's our family when we did a hot air balloon ride for Christmas this last year. So there's information about my response time, about the late policy, required reading, and so on. So please do look through all of that. It's important information. All of the various assignments that we'll be completing for class have more information about them in their respective tabs in the course content section of the menu. So please read through those and understand, what you need to do, what's coming. But to make sure that you're keeping up with due dates and that you're keeping up with the assignments that you need to be doing, just click into the learning modules. So once you're done with this video and the getting started section of things, click on Unit 1 and read through all of the information that's there. I'm not going to click into Unit 1 at this moment because I want to show you one of the typical units in our learning modules. So units 2 through 6 follow the same pattern in terms of the assignments you'll need to complete. So I'm going to show you Unit 2 instead. You will notice that each unit has a guiding question. Keep that guiding question in mind as you complete all of the coursework for that unit. So your reading tweets, your timeline entries, and your journal assignments should all reflect back on that question. So I'm choosing a certain person or event from the colonial era, the independence age, and I'm going to explain in that timeline entry how studying that event helps us to answer this question. In my tweets, I'm going to talk about how what I read helped me to think about the answers to this question. As with a lot of historical questions, there's no one right answer to the question. There are a lot of different ways of coming at it. And so that's why I pose these big open-ended questions for us for each unit so that we can think together about how all of our contributions help us to answer those questions. Clicking into the unit, I want to show you how these things are set up. So each unit has an intro and an objective section. I write out some information about the historical events and issues that we'll be studying as an introduction to that. And then I have this list of what assignments need to be completed by Thursday and what assignments need to be completed by Sunday. Those are the 2 due dates each week. Each unit lasts a week in our course. So you'll have certain things that are due on Thursday. Those are going to be the reading tweets and the ID step and the timeline assignment. On Sundays, you'll complete the connection step and the journal entry. So you can work ahead, you can have things done before, but those are the due dates for those particular assignments. In each learning module, you can use this arrow over here to advance to the next thing, or you can use the table of contents. I'm going to use the arrow this time around. In each unit, I also have a video about the guiding question. So in this intro video, I talk a little bit about the big topics that we'll be studying during that unit and how to think about the relationship between that history and the guiding question as you complete your work. So that's what those portions of the module do. In Unit 2, I have this reading strategies video. This video was from last summer, but the information there is still relevant, still important. Essentially what I'm asking you to think about is, or what I'm telling you is that I'm not asking you to read every single word of every single thing that I'm assigning to you, but instead giving you some strategies for how to skim, how to get the information that you need out of the readings for the course without having to sit down and get bogged down in those. That's something as a historian that's been hard for me. That's what we do as historians. We read documents from the past. It can be really easy to kind of get stuck in sentences or paragraphs where I need to be reading the whole thing to get the big picture. And so again, this video gives you some ideas about how to do that and how to read for the big picture. Next, you will see the readings for the unit. And again, this pattern follows with all of the units that come after this. Once again, you'll see the guiding question. You'll have no doubt what the guiding question is for each unit. This lists the readings that you'll need to do. So the chapters to read in the Wood and Alexander reader, as well as the Chastain book. And then there are some optional readings. These questions to consider are not connected to any assignments. They're just there to help you know what to be looking for, what to be thinking about as you're reading. Using this instead of the arrow, the table of contents, we'll go to the film clips. As I pointed out here, the film clips are supplements to the readings. They're there to help you better understand things that you didn't necessarily get from the readings. But there are way more films here than you'll be able to watch. I've also been told that Stephen Volt can be a little boring. I apologize if that's the way that he comes across. He does a good job of really laying out major and key issues with Latin American history, though, and so I've used the lectures that he has here for our class. So those are the kinds of videos that you'll see in each unit. Again, if you don't watch all of them, or if you don't watch any of them, that's not a big deal as long as you've done the readings. But they are there to help complement and supplement the readings. In each unit, I give this reading tweet section just to remind you to go and complete your reading tweets. As I mentioned here, it's easiest to use Twitter or something like TweetDeck to complete that. This is a link to the course hashtag. So as you'll learn, if you click on reading tweets over here and you read through the assignment details and watch the video tutorials, as long as you type this hashtag into all the tweets that you post, you'll be able to find them on Twitter. So you go to Twitter, you type that into the search, you click newest or most recent, I can't remember how it's actually phrased, rather than top, to see all of the tweets in order, and you'll see everything that our class is posting. So you don't have to follow me, you don't have to follow each other. I'm getting into that in the weeds more than I should because that's all explained in the videos and resources over here. But again, what we'll be doing with Twitter is using it to essentially take notes and comment on the things about the readings that are most interesting, most significant, most striking to us, and why. And we'll have a little conversation about that just to get things rolling in each unit. You'll also complete a timeline assignment. The instructions are here. If you click on this link, you click to launch this particular element of the learning module, and it takes you to these places where you can submit your ID step and your connection step. So remember, the ID step is always due on Thursday, connection step due on Sunday. I've set up the class so that there are always multiple ways of doing things, so that's why you see all these links below learning modules and course content. If you click on timeline, I'm going to do that, you'll be able to find the same thing that we were just looking at. So as I mentioned, the timeline tab contains a link to the course timeline, a link to the instructions for how to do the timeline assignment, a video tutorial that shows you how the assignment works and how to use Tiki-Taki. I've had these other tutorials here so that you can understand what I mean when I'm asking you to talk about historical significance, and so on. Here is where you will submit your work for the timeline. And I have links to all of these things in the learning modules as well. But if you've gone away from the learning module, you've done your reading in your book, and you've worked on Twitter, and you come back to Blackboard, and you just want to go straight to the spot where you can submit your timeline assignment for Unit 2, you'll scroll down here, you'll click on this folder, and you'll see the same thing that you saw when I clicked to launch from the learning module. So you'll click here on the ID step, and you'll attach your assignment for that. I'm going to go back over to the learning module just to show you the rest of that. So back in the Unit 2 module, and this time I'm going to use a table of contents because I don't want to have to scroll through everything that I've already worked through. I'm going to click on the journal. This is a similar thing. You click to launch, and it will give you the journal submission area as well as the journal assignment guidelines. Each of these learning modules for each unit has this self-assessment and looking ahead. This gives you a list, again, of everything that you should have done during this unit in order to receive full credit for that unit's work. And it also gets you to think about the final project. For our class, there are no quizzes, there are no exams. Instead, we'll be doing a final project that either focuses on the book Ay Rigoberta Menchú, or the film También la lluvia, or even the rain in English. Over here in the final project tab, as this indicates, there's more information about both of these. And also in the syllabus, it indicates you choose one of the two of these project options. So you can either do the Menchú essay or the También la lluvia film review. So click on those to see the guidelines for each assignment. Then you can make your decision about which you want to do. In Unit 6, we will be completing some discussion assignments that directly address the Menchú book. It's one of the books that you had to purchase for this class. But you can do those activities and everything with Unit 6 and decide not to do that essay. And instead, you can work on the Even the Rain or También la lluvia review. So again, that's up to you. That's a choice that you have for completing the work for our class. Going back to the learning modules, I just wanted to point out that between Units 2 and Units 3, on the week where we have the 4th of July, I've sort of given you the week off. You have time during this week to really think about the final project. So make some decisions about whether you'd like to view the film and write that review or do the book review. And it's not quite a book review. There's a specific question to answer about Ay Rigoberta Menchú. So again, go over here to the final project tab and look at those assignment instructions so that you understand what that is. And then, just follow all of the unit learning modules through as we go through the semester. Looking back over here at the course menu, I did want to point out there's an extra credit assignment available to you if you want to take advantage of that. It asks you to put together all of the work that you've done on the timeline over the course of the semester and evaluate it. These Chasteen intro videos, those are a publisher resource that we can access without paying anything extra. I did get a question about some of the digital, digital resources that go along with the Chasteen book. We're not using those. I haven't embedded any of those in Blackboard, but you can click here. You have to then also click on Student Site, and then you can see some introduction videos from the author, John Charles Chasteen, about what we're reading in that book. Excuse me, sorry about that. Otherwise, the course communication here, as I mentioned before, keep tabs on the announcements. I do use those regularly. You can use this for CNM email. Click here for online office hours, and that will go to my room for Blackboard Collaborate, which is a video conferencing platform. If you need to meet at a time that isn't my usual office hours, just let me know and we can arrange that. Here's another way that you can also check on your grades. And then finally, here are a lot of CNM resources. Libraries has to do with research and library materials. EmbaNet and Blackboard Student Help are both technical help for Blackboard. And then CNM Student Resources contains things that go beyond Blackboard. So if you need resources through CNM, like scholarships or like other things, click there to get started on that. And please do take advantage of those, see what's there for you. There's lots of great helpful things that we have available here at CNM. I don't know about all of them, but if you are unsure, you have a question, ask me and I'll figure it out and I'll point you in the right direction. So again, welcome to the class. I'm really looking forward to studying Latin America with all of you, and I hope that you have a great start to our short 8-week summer term.